Hey everyone, it's Lindy, and welcome to my channel, Sarpadame. Thanks for joining me today. So, a few days ago, I made a video titled Narcissism, How to Deal, where I was talking about how to spot a narcissistic type of person and how to break free, how to let them go. And so, this video today is kind of going off of that one. It's almost like part two. But I had a really great experience the last couple of days, and I wanted so much just to share that with my viewers. So this video is called Narcissism Breaking Free, and I'm so happy because I did just have a situation with a narcissist type of person, and I did break free, and I wanted to inspire others to do the same. So I think it's important, I went over this a lot in my other video, but I think it's important to state again that this narcissism, or NPD, Narcissistic Personality Disorder, or Narcis for short, um, it's a spectrum, and not everyone that has some spectrum of narcissism um, is going to be like super, super difficult to deal with. But the further they are on the spectrum of narcissism, the harder they are, the more difficult they are to deal with. And for me personally, being an empath, they are very difficult for me personally to deal with because they are energy vampires. So, of course, they're not like evil people or, people who are into dark magic. They don't sit there behind the scenes and take a piece of your hair and like, ho ha ha ha, I'm going to steal all of your energy. It's not something that they're conscious or aware of that they're doing this, but on an energetic level, this is actually what's going on in a relationship with a narcissistic type of person. And it can be really hard for empaths to deal with because we are actually a complete opposite of this type of person. Where narcissists lack empathy, empaths have an overwhelming amount of empathy, so much to the point that they take on energy and emotions outside of themselves as their own. So they literally, quite literally, can feel what others are going through and what others are feeling, because they can feel that as their own. So what ended up happening, and this has actually happened to me in every narcissistic type of relationship I've had. So I mentioned in my last video that this isn't a personality type that I deal with often, and the only time I really seem to come across this type of person now is in my professional life, and in my business life. And I am, well, I'm a Reiki practitioner, but I also have another business where I work with a lot of different types of doctors, and I help them with their office and their practices. Um, I provide a very specific service that a lot of them seek out. And I have found that I've come across a couple people like this in my professional life. And although that they are very difficult people for me to deal with, um, I have found the silver lining, and I have found the positive aspect of dealing with people like this. So I wanted to get into that in this video. Um, so they are actually here, this type of person is actually here to teach us to stick up for ourselves and love ourselves, and especially empaths. They are here to teach us that lesson. Because empaths, since we do feel so much and since we do really empathize with people, it's very easy for us to fall into feeling pity or feeling sympathy for others. And as narcissists are very good at creating this, just creating this like sympathetic situation that they need your help with, and they're really good at just like, you know, making you feel sorry for them basically so that you will help them. And so I have fallen into this a couple times, but what I realized in the end is that I learned a lot from this situation, because I learned to stick up for myself, and in a very healthy way, and a very effective way. That was very effective for me personally. So I want to get into that, but I also in this video want to get into symptoms that you could be feeling if someone is an energy vampire and around you, and you are suffering basically from energetic vampirism, okay? Or someone is taking your energy, some things that you could feel, okay, when this is going on. And I didn't figure this out until like retrospect, until I got out of the relationship. I completely removed myself from the situation for a few days. And I realized, because I started to feel myself again, and I started to have like my normal energy level, it started coming back, and I just started to feel like way better and like totally liberated and just feeling free and like happy again. And I didn't even realize that being in a relationship, and it wasn't even a romantic relationship or a friendship, this was a business relationship I was in with this person. They were sucking my energy. Okay. And so basically what it felt like when I was in this relationship is, of course, I felt tired. I was feeling tired every day. And you know, it's like I didn't even really put two and two together that someone was sucking my energy. And you know, like feeding off of it, you know. And like I said, like this is an energetic thing. This is what's going on energetically in a relationship between a narcissist and an empath. But narcissists, you know, they don't know that this is what's happening. They don't know that this is what they're doing to people, but this is essentially on an energetic level what is going on. So I was doing business with this person. I had known them for a year, and I was doing business with them for about 9 months. And it's slowly and slowly and slowly, it was such a slow progression into them sucking my energy that I didn't even realize that that's what was going on. But how I felt was I started to feel more and more tired. I started to just become really like, not all the time, but especially with my interactions with this person, I started to kind of feel like insecure, like they were taking my power away, like they were using everything against me. Every single thing, every single interaction with them, they would put it back on me. And this is kind of like how it happens, how they end up taking your power away from you is they do a lot of blame shifting, and gaslighting too. And gaslighting is a technique. There's like a play about it, but gaslighting is this technique where people will make you think that you're crazy, so that like what you're saying or what you think you're experiencing, they'll just say back to you like, oh, well, you must be crazy, even though that's like really actually what's going on. They'll say, oh, well, yeah, no, I don't think so, or, I don't remember it that way, or, and so they really start to get you to start questioning your thought process and doubting yourself. Self-doubt. I was feeling a lot of that. And I was feeling so much empathy for this person that they were acting in such a just unprofessional, really messed up way. I would feel so bad for them. And that's like why I kept this relationship going on, is because I knew that they were damaged. I knew that they weren't really aware of all their lies and all their manipulation tactics that they were doing. Um, and so I kept trying to help this person. But in the meantime, I ended up suffering because all of my energy ended up being drained. I was always very tired. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't even feel like my thoughts were my own. I felt that somehow energetically I had started to take on this person's thought patterns, because thoughts are energy too. So if you are an empathic type person, especially, I mean, this can happen, I feel, to anyone, but especially empaths. That's what defines empaths, is their ability to actually take on other people's thoughts, emotions, and energies. And so I felt like my thoughts weren't my own. Like I was starting to have a lot of fear based thoughts and self doubts and this and this and that. And that's just not me. So I just didn't feel myself. And then I started also like having a lot of physical pain. Like I had this horrible pain in the back of my neck and on my shoulders. And then I would like feel a lot of pain in other areas of my body too. And since I'm an empath, this kind of has happened a lot to me in the past, where I've experienced this pain and I can't really explain where it's coming from. So I'm kind of used to that. So I didn't even realize that part of, you know, energy vampirism, part of that is, you will start to physically feel that as well. Like when you don't have all your power, you don't have all your energy, you start to feel very drained, very tired, and you will start feeling physical symptoms. And like I said, I didn't even realize that this was going on until I removed myself from the situation completely and took my power back. Okay. And then once I did that, it was almost like immediately after I did that, um, I felt myself again. I felt so much relief. I felt liberated. I felt so much freedom. And I felt myself again. And I had my normal energy levels were restored. And also, I didn't have any more physical pain either, or physical ailments going on. So it was just like amazing to me that someone else can almost act as like a parasite, um, latch on to you, to your energy body, um, and create this kind of phenomenon. It just amazed me. And so I learned so much from this situation. I learned how to stick up for myself and take my power back. And you know, basically how I did that uh, is, I of course ended the relationship with this person. So I fired them basically. But it's not like they were my employee. I'm subcontracted by doctors, especially doctors, to help them. And so it was a subcontract that I had with this person, and so I basically just told them I couldn't work for them anymore. And at first, because I do feel that you should do this with love. Um, and, you know, not blame them. And I still stick to that because that is what ended up working. Um, but I did try to keep, at first, let them go in as little words as possible with as little energy as possible. Um, and that didn't work very well because what they ended up doing is basically, you know, all of our interactions have been email. So it's just like amazing to me that this can even happen when you're like emailing back and forth. It's like basically like any kind of contact you have with this person, any kind of interaction you have with this person, this can happen where they're sucking your energy. Um, so yeah, so I let them go, and I told them that it was effective immediately and this and that, and you know that I'd be sending their invoice out when I normally do in the month, and this and that. And you know they waited like a really long time, like a week, to get back to me. And then when they did get back to me, of course, it was just the normal narcissistic behavior of not accepting any responsibility, not even caring, actually, not even caring why I made the decision I did, and then just going on and on and on about how I was inconveniencing them. So then they were trying to once again make me feel sorry for them. And so I would maybe change my mind. I'm not really sure like what they were trying to do. Maybe just suck more of my energy. That's probably why. Um, and so yeah, it was just this very like long email about how horrible I am and how unprofessional and how mean I am for doing this and this and this and that. And the energy vampirism started to happen again. And it would be so bad where I would be like obsessing about this in my head. I was losing sleep over it. And like I said, I was starting to feel physical symptoms from this. And I did not realize that this was like a possibility of what could actually be going on until I stepped out of the relationship completely. And then that's when I realized that all of the negative symptoms that I was feeling and feeling really outside of myself, like my thoughts weren't even my own, that's how I was feeling, um, was from this relationship with this person that is very toxic. Those people are very toxic for me. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm not saying that. They actually have taught me a lot in my life of how to stick up for myself, but and take my power back and reclaim my power. But it's very hard to go through and to have a relationship for me with these types of people. So then what I decided to do after that is I decided to tell them um, exactly why I made the decision I did. And I still managed to not put the blame on them. I basically just told them, I'm realizing I'm looking very pale in this video. I kind of look ghostly, but it's because there's a lot of light out here. I'm outside on my back porch, so that's kind of why. I'm looking ghostly, but that's okay. It's all right. So, um, I really got into detail about my boundaries and what I am not compatible with and what I cannot put up with and what I cannot tolerate. But I did also make it very clear to them that I have no control over their perception of me. And that is a way that you can disarm narcissist is they don't like that. They don't like it because what they want to do is make you feel very horrible, and they want to get you to doubt yourself and question everything you're doing, and they want you to apologize, and then they want to punish you, not acknowledge your apologies or do anything like that like a normal person would when you apologize. They just want you to feel horrible. that you've let them down and this and that. And especially when you catch them in lies, like that's actually how the whole situation, um, that was the beginning of the end for me, because what I'm really not okay with is people lying to me, especially when it's just like unnecessary. Like, just tell me what's going on, because I'm obviously a very empathetic person. I really have a capacity to understand where people are coming from. But what one thing I don't tolerate is dishonesty. I'm probably one of the most honest people that, well, everyone that knows me on a personal level says I'm like the most honest person they've ever met. So I am very honest, and I have a really hard time putting up with dishonesty and just like disrespect and trust. I couldn't trust this person anymore, and they have a tendency to do that. I don't know, maybe they are trustworthy people, but it's just like their actions and stuff, like they're just not trustworthy. And then they do like lie. So of course that breaks the trust in a relationship when someone in the relationship is just being very dishonest or lying to you and you know it. I mean, I caught her in the lie. And that's when this relationship started to break down. And of course, she never admitted that she lied. I actually caught her in a couple lies, and especially like in a business relationship where you're not you're not like around this person on a daily basis, um and you really have to have trust with them. That, I mean, my business, the people I work with, it actually does require trust. I think any relationship requires trust, but especially the relationships I have with my clients, there are a lot of aspects that actually require people to be upfront and honest, um, in order for me to do business with them. So that's how the relationship started breaking down, as I caught her in a lie. And, then it was just like downhill from there. And it wasn't the first time, but the first time I caught her in a lie, it was like she was very convincing to me that she wasn't lying. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt. So anyway, this final email I sent her, um, I didn't put any blame on her. I just basically told her, like, my perspective. Like, I can't have relationships with people if there is not mutual trust, respect, and understanding. I cannot, like, I'm not compatible with people that I can't have these things with. And I made it very clear to her that I have no control or right to try and control her reality, because it's very important that people like that understand that you realize that you basically you don't care what they think of you, because you have no control over that. It's like, I know in my heart that I already did everything I possibly could to make this person happy. And when they're still unhappy and they're still trying to punish me for it, that's where I draw the line. So that's how I took my power back. And then it was immediately after I sent that email. She was very reactive and immediately reacted to the email. Um, didn't, of course, care anything I said, but it was still said, and it was very powerful for me. And that's how I regained my power, is by doing that. Um, and I did just keep the focus on myself and where I was coming from, and I did not blame her or accuse her of doing anything. Um, and it's amazing because she came back. Sorry, my neighbor's mowing his lawn. He always loves to do that when I'm back here making videos. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully that's not too distracting. But no, I mean, narcissist, MPD, narcies, they love to like flip the script and like basically accuse you of the exact thing that they're doing. So she was like, "Oh, you're being so accusatory. You're abusive." She even had the nerve to call me abusive. So just expect that when especially when you're ending things with them, because they will come back and accuse you. It's like they're holding a mirror up in front of their face and they're like saying to themselves, like they see everything that they're doing in other people and accuse other people of the exact thing that they're doing. So just be prepared for that, but don't react. Don't react back to it. Once you have established that boundary and you have cut off the relationship, and I told her, this is the last email I will be sending you as business is done. So I made it clear, this is the last email I'll be sending, and I stuck to that, and I felt amazing. I stuck up for myself. I took my power back and I felt amazing. So I hope that I inspired you guys to do the same if you're dealing with a difficult person like this in your life. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because, you know, it's not like I don't typically talk about MPD and things like this on my channel. It's not really something I like to talk about that often, but I did just have an experience and I learned a lot from it. And I learned how to deal with these people being an empath. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope that it helped. And I love you guys so much, and have a blessed day. And until next time, take care. All right. Bye, guys.